Hello troopers, how we doing? Right, as you can see, we have the Shadow Trooper helmet to this stage. Now, we've got the teeth painted, obviously, because you can see that they're painted. I basically used Warhammer paint for that one. Citadel paint, I should say, not necessarily Warhammer paint. I used a couple of silvers, like this one. Which silver paint did I use for the base? I used this silver paint for the base, which is Iron Hand Steel, and I then kind of topped it off with a little bit of this, which is the layer, which is Stormhost Silver. So that was pretty straightforward. If I prefer to use acrylics, I'm not very good with things like Dremel paints or all those. Also, we've painted the brass screws that hold the earpieces in as well, so they've been painted up, so that's good. So what we need to do now is we're fitting the mic pieces. I've already got one in there because I got one just to test to see how it goes, and it goes pretty well in there. It's very thin, this plastic on here, so it doesn't take much to drill through there, so I wouldn't use a drill. I'd use a Dremel with a reasonably large sort of either drill bit or some kind of cutting device to go in there. Here's your mic tips, your Hovi's mic tips, which I've already done a short that's on my channel somewhere. Simple as, you put this together. You've got how many components? About 4 components to that. These used to, when Ross done them previously, they used to come in sort of white resin. Now they come black, so that's helpful, so you don't have to paint that. You paint the inside, it's up to you. If you want to be more authentic, you paint the inside, fit the wire mesh, put the screw in, and away you go. So that pops into the hole like that. You get in your bag of bits, there's a larger washer and a small nut. It's pretty straightforward washer over the bolt, nut on the end of the bolt, and then just tighten it up if you can, which you should be able to, but this is obviously being difficult right now. It's a little bit fiddly, but you should get there in the end. There we go. Once you got the nut on, just spin the nut around with your fingers. It's probably best to do it with your fingers if you've got a very small spanner set, or what's the word I'm looking for, socket set. You could do it that way, but it will just spin around nice and easily like that, and you're not going to need it very tight anyway, because as I said, this plastic's quite thin, and once you've got it tight, it's not going anywhere. Trust me, I've had mine on my other helmet for years. So once you've got it in, as you can see, they're not particularly well lined up. So what you can do is you can move it, spin it around till it lines up with the other one, and you can do the same. You can move them around till they both kind of look similar or the same, pointing in kind of the same direction. I think if I remember rightly, the original ones weren't on the original helmets, weren't necessarily pointing in the right direction. So there you go. It's just a case of moving it around until it all looks a bit the same. So there we go, that's them in. So what we've got to do is fit the rim around here. There's a rubber rim that goes around here. This did hang over a bit. I trimmed it up, so that's already trimmed. So we're going to fit the rubber that goes around there. Once again, that comes in the kit. It's a S shape rubber ring thing. I don't know what it's initially used. It's obviously a seal for something, or usually like a glass thing or something. I don't know. But that's the same one that I used previously. So what you need to do is have the S Yeah, you want to start at the back. You're going on the outside bit, and this bit's on the inside. Yeah, so that's the outside bit. That's that goes over the helmet, and that's going on the inside. Otherwise, it'll look very weird and it won't work. So as you can see, it just slips straight on, and you work your way around, just getting it to fit. Like that. If you get your finger inside one bit. Yeah, I remember it's not, I mean, you have to be quite dexterous obviously to do this, but you've got to be quite dexterous anyway when you do, because these bits here you've got like 3 layers that it's got to get over. So especially on the inside there, you have to pull that around to go. There you go. See, it's clipped in nicely there. See, it's covering. What it's going to do is it's going to cover up a lot of the gaps. That's the whole point again once of it. Be careful when you get to these bits, because these bits are really thin. I don't know if that's the way Ross makes these now, or if he just sometimes when he does do the moulding, it sometimes it does come out a bit thin, but as you can see, it goes on pretty well, pretty easy initially. And like I say, once you've initially got it on, you can then sort of fettle it a bit so that it fits on better. But it is pretty straightforward. You're not sticking this on either, you're just getting it on. So obviously, like I say, you want it level at the back, or as level as you can be, it doesn't really matter. But once you've got it all the way on, just check that you're seated in the right places and it's all pushed down, because then what you're going to do, yeah, you're going to sort of push it. Yeah, you don't want to cut it straight down there, otherwise you're going to get a gap. So you need to sort of push it apart a bit. As you can see there, you see, if I make a mark like that, yeah, I don't want to cut it at that point. I want to cut it because I've pushed it a bit further, because it's then going to push it together. So if you can push it a bit further apart, make a mark like that, because if you imagine that, that's going to spring back. So I've made that mark, and I'm not going to cut exactly on that mark either. I'm going to cut a little bit before, just with your regular household scissors, will cut straight through this stuff. Okay, so then I'm going to pull that back. As you can see, I'm pulling it. I'm going to pull it back. I'll show you again actually on the camera. I'm pulling that back. Yeah, taking a little bit of force to push that in there. But the whole point is, once that's in, that will seal down nicely. As you can see, I've just got to get it in there like that. There you go. And make sure the other side is all level. Get in there. Give it another push again. And there you go. That is the rim. That will also give your helmet a little bit of support as well, because like I say, it can be a bit flimsy, but that's a bit of support. So that's that in. All nice and tight and cozy. As you can see, it's really flimsy, that bit just there for some reason with this one. Not too happy about that, but that is the chance you take sometimes with a bit of stormtrooping. So there you go. That's the helmet now done. With the tips are in, it's painted. I've still got to level those up a bit, because as you can see, they're really quite wonky. But I'll work on that. But that's not a problem. There you go. So just a little tiny bit of fettling, like once again, just to get it in the right position, and then maybe tighten them up a little bit more. That's painted. The brow's done. The screws are in. Screws are painted. I'm probably going to cut a couple of coats on those just to get them in, and then you've got the rubber around the bottom. So that's all done. What we'll need to be doing next is we're going to be fitting the lenses, which is not too bad. That's quite easy. And then we've got some stickers to go on here, and on the teardrops. So that's about all I've got time for today. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I've got some more stuff coming up soon, which will involve another blaster build, and maybe I've got some Lego that I might do just for a change, just for a bit of a laugh, but we'll see. So yeah, that's all I've got time for. You can go about your business. Move along. Move along.